Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Gator Insider, presented by Talon Wealth. With our Gator Insider, Scott Carter, I'm Sean Kelley. Some weeks are easier to have a conversation than others. This is not one of the easier weeks, as the Gators lost on the road at Kentucky by the final score of 38-7 to fall to 2-4 in the SEC and 3-6 overall. Scott, not the best week for the Florida Gators in the second game under interim head coach Billy Gonzalez, and Kroger Field now continues to be a problem for the Florida Gators here in recent memory.
Yeah, Sean, I mean, they've gone up there now 3 trips and lost, and none of them were quite as bad as obviously Saturday night, 38-7, and it's hard to look back on it and remember that Gators actually led 7-3, but it got bad there pretty quick for Florida. It was a matchup of young quarterbacks in the second quarter, and Kentucky's won, and DJ Lagway had some trouble with the 3 interceptions, and they scored 21 points. And from there, the Wildcats just took care of business. And Florida, it's back to kind of the drawing board as they get ready for their last 3 games.
Yeah, 3 weeks to go now for the Gators, 2 left in conference play. Yes, Scott's correct. The Gators led 7-3 at the end of the first quarter. Let's start with that lone score for the Gators. It was actually set up by special teams. Rocco Underwood continues to be one of the best long snappers in the country. And, of course, he gave the Gators their one trip to the red zone as well.
Yeah, Rocco maybe made the best play of the game for Florida on the muff punt. And he reaches up and snags it out like a rebounder playing basketball. 3 plays later, Lagway hits Jaden Ball for a 10-yard scoring pass. And at that point, you're thinking, okay, Gators are leading. They're on the road in the SEC, a night game, unfriendly environment. But Kentucky responded, I think, with a 9-play, 75-yard drive, and that was about all Gator fans probably want to remember from that game. It's just one of those that you kind of check off, Sean, and move on.
Yeah, no doubt. It was the strangest second quarter, too. And back to Jaden Ball just for a moment. Ball once again led the Gators in rushing, both carries and yards. But this week he also led in receptions, and that touchdown that Scott referenced was his first receiving touchdown of the season, the second of his career. In that strange second quarter, what was there? 4 turnovers that traded hands down the stretch of the first half. As far as an unlikely game for the Gators, it was the most unlikely quarter of the season for the Florida Gators.
Yeah, I think there were 4 turnovers in a 40-second span there, and I was having trouble keeping up, tweeting. So it was one of those moments where you just knew both teams were for Florida, it was trying to get a little momentum going into halftime. For Kentucky, they were kind of trying to put them away because it was 24-7 at that point. So give Florida credit for standing up and not giving up another score where they go into halftime trailing further. But when you have those kind of sequences, Sean, it's usually not the greatest flow of a game. And I think it just felt like the Gators were kind of fighting it all night in that regard. And but that epitomized certainly the performance.
Without a doubt. I'll take 2 offensive plays of the week here. Both are explosives for a pair of Gators wide receivers. Great to see Vernell Brown, the third back in action, returning from injury this week. He had a 22-yard reception in the first quarter. And then the other play would be T.J. Abrams, a 17-yard reception in the third quarter from Tramell Jones Jr. Defensively, Scott, will finish on this. The Gators had 4 takeaways in the game. Was there one in particular that really still stays in your mind?
I'm probably going with Devin Moore's punch-out in the second quarter that Aaron Childs recovered a fumble. At that point, the Gators were still in the game. There was still an opportunity there to go into the break with maybe another score and make it a closer game. So I think at that point, and Devin Moore, to his credit, has been playing this is the best season at Florida. He's a guy that has a lot of talent, and I think we're seeing it on a more regular basis this season.
All right. For Scott Carter, I'm Sean Kelley. That's Gators Insider, presented by Talon Wealth.